Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, dear Prabhujis, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2nd, contents of the Gita summarized, and we are going to read the 66th verse, another very beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Shri Krishna, he continues his instructions to Arjunji and he says, Nasti buddhir ayuktasya nacha ayuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayatah shantir ashantasya kuta sukham. So very beautiful verse. Nasti buddhir ayuktasya nacha ayuktasya bhavanah nacha bhavayatah shantir अशांतस्य कुतः सुखम. नास्ति बुद्धिरायुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावनः न भावयतः शांतेर अशांतस्य कुतः सुखम. नास्ति, there cannot be, buddhi, transcendental intelligence, ayuktasya, of one who is not connected with Krishna consciousness. Na, neither, cha, and ayuktasya, of one devoid of Krishna consciousness. Bhavanaha, mind fixed in happiness. Na, neither, cha, and abhavayataha, one who is not fixed. Shantihi, peace. Ashantasya, of the unpeaceful. Kutaha, where is sukham, happiness. So one who is not in transcendental consciousness can have neither a controlled mind nor steady intelligence. Nasti buddhir ayuktasya na cha ayuktasya bhavanaha, can neither have a controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. Na cha bhavayataha shantir, and how can there be any happiness without peace? Ashantasya kutah sukham. So very beautiful verse. In the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing, unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter, 5.29, that when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all good results of sacrifice and penance, and that he is the proprietor of all universal manifestations, and he is the real friend of all living entities, then only one can have real peace. Therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal, and when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without peace. However much one may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life, Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition. Self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. So very, very beautiful verse. In the previous verses, Lord Shri Krishna explained to Arjunji. In the previous two verses, Yuktaha, one who is though such engaged, Atmavasher Vidhe Atmaha, Indriyes Charan, Vishyan Indriyes Charan, and he can attain the mercy of the Supreme Lord in the form of divine consciousness, and prasadam adhigacchati, and in the previous verse we saw prasade sarva dukkhanam, one is completely free from all material miseries once he gets the mercy of the Supreme Lord in the form of divine consciousness. he is free from all the miseries of the material world and his mind is situated in happiness. Prasanna Chetasaho. So Prasanna Chetasaha, he becomes very happy. His mind is happy. And but Lord Shri Krishna is explaining, but those who are not engaged in Krishna consciousness, ayuktasya, those who are not connected with Krishna consciousness, Swami Srila Prabhupada translated 2 times, ayuktasya, of one devoid of Krishna consciousness. Ayuktasya, of one who is not connected with Krishna consciousness. So ayuktasya, one who is not yuktaha, one who is not engaged in this way, one who is not engaged in serving the Supreme Lord, nishkam karma, buddhi yoga. So one who is not in yoga, one who is not trying to satisfy the Supreme Lord, one who is not engaged in this way, he cannot be. So previous verses, one who is engaged, he is prasanna chetasaha. He is very happy. Whereas a person who is not engaged in Krishna consciousness, who is not thus engaged, who is not connected, na asti, for him na asti buddhir, he cannot have intelligence. He cannot have transcendental intelligence. He cannot see things as they are. He cannot understand world in truth. He cannot understand world in truth. He cannot understand anything in truth. He will be in illusion. So he cannot have transcendental intelligence. Swami Srila Prabhupada translated buddhi as transcendental intelligence. So nasti buddhi. नास्ति बुद्धिर अयुक्तस्य नाचा अयुक्तस्य भावना. And those who are not engaged, they do not have bhavana. Their mind is not fixed up. Bhavana. Mind becomes fixed up as explained by Swami Srila Prabhupada in the purport. When mind gets an ultimate goal, when mind gets a final goal. So in this material world, we see people, whole life, all of us, we have changed our goal. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, we have changed, our minds have changed goals one after another, one after another, one after another, one after another. Because senses and mind, they want to engage in fruitive activities to become happy in this world. And they do not get a final goal. So sankalpa and vikalpa, that is the activity of the mind. Mind accepts something and then reject it. When mind do not find satisfaction, so in this world, people in a lifetime, they change their goals 1,000 times. They don't have a fixed goal in life. They do not know what is the goal of life. So they keep on changing. Whatever gives them happiness, whatever gives them satisfaction, they accept that as their goal in life. So people are busy in various fruitive activities for the satisfaction of mind and senses. But unless mind gets a final goal, unless mind gets an ultimate goal, there is no question of it's becoming fixed up. So when the mind is not fixed up, so it cannot be peaceful. So in the outside world, so those who are not in Krishna consciousness, their mind keep on changing. They are always, Swami Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, they are always in distress. However show they may make of peace, but Lord Shri Krishna is explaining, Nacha abhavayataha, those who do not have bhavana, those who do not have bhavana, abhavayataha, they cannot, nacha abhavayataha shantir, they cannot have peace. So it is very people in this world, they are hankering after peace, and many people out of frustration, they renounce everything. They become big personalities in this material world. People acquire a lot of name, fame, money, riches, and in the end they give up everything. They become completely, they say, I do not have peace. In search of peace, people, they go to various secluded places, because they say, whole life I was unpeaceful, I was in distress, I never understood what my mind wanted. So unless mind has a realistic goal, it cannot be completely peaceful. So nacha abhavayataha shantir. Na asti buddhir ayuktasya, those who are not engaged in Krishna consciousness, they cannot have transcendental intelligence. And nacha ayuktasya bhavana, they cannot have intelligence, transcendental intelligence, and their mind cannot be peaceful. They cannot be peaceful. Nacha bhavayatah shante, their mind is not fixed up, they do not have a steady mind, and they do not, because the mind is unsteady, because the mind is always wavering. So how one can have peace? Because the goals, they are always changing in the mind. The mind, sometimes it is accepting something, then it is rejecting those things, sankalpa, vikalpa, it goes on. The mind's business is to contemplate, so mind keep on contemplating and searching in this world for happiness. And wherever mind finds satisfaction, it picks it as a goal. But again, when mind is unsatisfied in doing those things, then mind gives up and he make another goal for satisfaction. So people are always engaged in fruitive activities for the satisfaction of mind and the senses, but they are never satisfied by material engagement because they are not engaged in Krishna consciousness. They are not engaged in service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is their eternal occupation. And ashantasya kutaha sukham. So where is the question Lord Shri Krishna is saying to Arjunji, and he is explaining to the whole world, where is the question of happiness if the mind itself is in distress? If the mind is unpeaceful, if the mind is not in peace, if the mind is not fixed up, there is no peace in the mind. The mind is hankering for thousands of things in this world, and people, they keep on changing their goals, their mindset in life. So how, unless one is peaceful, where is the question of happiness? Ashantasya kuta sukham. So very, very beautiful verse. One who is not in transcendental consciousness can neither have a controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Whereas in the previous verses, Lord explained, for one who is so situated in divine consciousness, the threefold miseries of the material existence exist no longer. In such a happy state, one's intelligence soon becomes steady. While those who are ayuktasya, those who are not engaged in this way, so unless one is Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. Swami Srila Prabhupada wrote in the purport, and he gave reference of 5th chapter. So in the forthcoming chapter, Lord Shri Krishna, he himself will describe Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvalok Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. 5th chapter, 29th verse, Lord Shri Krishna will explain to Arjunji and to all of us. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvalok Maheshwaram. Bhoktaram, he is the enjoyer. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam. All the austerities, all the penances, all the sacrifices are actually done for his satisfaction. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Sarvaloka, he is the master of all the manifestations, Sarvaloka, all the universes, all the Brahmanda, all the Jagat. So he is master of all. Whatever we see, all the manifestations which we can see, which we can experience in this material world through our senses, everything, even all of us, even our bodies, Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, Manaha, Buddhi, Ahankar, Bhinna me Prakriti Rashtada, even the material manifestation, material energy, it belongs to the Supreme Lord. So Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhirdam Sarvabhutanam. But he is the master of everything, but he is not averse to all of us. He is very, very much loving. Suhirdam, he is friend of every living entity. Every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Mama Evamsho, that also Lord Shri Krishna will confirm, and we saw in the previous verses. So every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Every living entity is, even in one of the verses Lord Shri Krishna will claim, Aham Bij Prada Pita. So he is actually the seed giving father in every body. The material body becomes active because of the presence of soul, and it is Lord Shri Krishna who gives, who imparts by his sanction. Aham Bij Prada Pita. So he is kind father, he is friend of every living entity. One who knows this perfectly. So knowing does not only means knowing. One who knows, one who has realized will act as per his realization, as per his knowledge. Realizations, knowledge and realization. When knowledge is realized, when one realizes knowledge, then one act according to that knowledge. But then one act according to that understanding. So Bhoktaram Yagatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatava Mam Shantim Rachati. So one who knows this well, he is not after lording over tendency. He gives up. Every living entity is there in this world because of raga and dvesha. People want to become, Swami Srila Prabhupada explains, Iksha Dvesha Samuthena. So we have a lot of material desires, and our ultimate desire is that we want to be lord over. We want to become the biggest lord of this material world. In this material world, of this material nature, we want to lord over the material nature. So when one understands that everything belongs to a person, everything belongs to a person who is my best friend, and he has given those things to me out of his love. He is my eternal father. I belong to him. Every soul, every living being is part and parcel of the Supreme God, Supreme Lord. Every soul is part and parcel of the Super Soul. So when one understands, he gives up lording over tendency and he tries to love his friend, love his eternal friend who has given him so many things in this material world out of his love. So Bhoktaram Yagatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatava Mam Shantim Rachati. He can only attain peaceful condition. His mind can only attain peace. And unless one is related with Lord Shri Krishna, unless one is in relationship with Lord Krishna, unless one understands this transcendental knowledge that everyone is related with Lord Shri Krishna eternally, he cannot be peaceful. He cannot be peaceful in this material world. Swami Srila Prabhupada explained in the purport, however much one may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life, Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition. So Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested. When one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, yuktaha, then prasanna chetasaho, his mind is fixed up, his intelligence is fixed up, and he becomes naturally happy. It is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. So those who have understood the real knowledge, those who understand that they have an eternal relationship with Krishna, they can only become peaceful in real sense. So Swami Srila Prabhupada wrote, unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter, 5.29, that when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all good results of sacrifice and penance, and that he is the proprietor of all universal manifestations, that he is the real friend of all living entities, then only one can have real peace. Therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal. So that is the cause of disturbance. The mind, it actually wants an ultimate goal. And one can have ultimate goal when one understands the ultimate knowledge, the absolute knowledge. Because in this world, everything is relative. People have various experiences, people have various material knowledge which do not satisfy the mind and intelligence. So hence one who is not in transcendental consciousness can neither have a controlled mind nor steady intelligence. Nasti buddhir. So people cannot have steady intelligence, steady mind, controlled mind. नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य नाचा युक्तस्य भावना नाचा भावयतः शांतिर अशांतस्य कुतः सुखम. So disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal, and when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor and friend of everyone and everything, then one can with a steady mind bring about peace. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without peace. However, one may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life. And Krishna consciousness, as we saw in the previous verses, Lord Shri Krishna explained, it is a self-manifested. One automatically becomes peaceful. As soon as one start pouring water on the root of the tree, one can see all the branches, all the leaves, they automatically become nourished. So that is the science most of the people in this world, they do not know. Soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. Living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Being, Supreme Personality. Every person is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality, is part and parcel of the Supreme God, and Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has many incarnations and he has got many expansions. So God is not, he is unlimited. Even every living entity, they are his expansions, Swamsha, Vibhinamsha. So he has got Swamsha and he has got in the material world, he has got Vibhinamsha. And then he has got his incarnations, his expansions. Lord Rama, Narayana, Vishnu, Narsimha, Vamana. So there are unlimited Kurma, Matsya, Buddha. So there are unlimited incarnations and expansions. They all are God. Balaram, Rama, Lakshmana. So they all are God, but Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the last word in the realization of absolute truth. Bhagavan is the last word in the realization of absolute truth, and Lord Shri Krishna is the Supreme Bhagavan. He is Supreme Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Lord Shri Krishna, Arjun ji is very, very fortunate that Lord Shri Krishna, when he incarnated, when on the earth, so he was, Arjun ji is very, very fortunate that Lord Shri Krishna was present with him and instructing him in the Vedic science, instructing him in transcendental knowledge personally. And we are also very, very fortunate that we are able to read that those instructions, those wonderful instructions of Lord Shri Krishna through a pure devotee, Swami Shrila Prabhupada, through the mouth of a pure devotee, Swami Shrila Prabhupada. So very, very wonderful words, very beautiful words. In our next session, we will try to understand, read and understand the next verse. Till then, I would like to stop this session here. Jai Vishnupad Paramhans Parivrajakacarya Ashrotrashat Krishna Kripa Murti Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. All glories to His Divine Grace. Krishna Kripa Murti Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Lord Shri Krishna. All glories to Bhagavad Gita. All glories to Lord Chaitanya. All glories to Holy Name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.